Alright, everyone. So, this is the final episode, presumably the final episode, in what has been like a saga, an arc on my channel. Unfortunately, part 2, arguably the best part of this arc, never got uploaded. I uploaded it to our drive with my editor, and Ethan never got it out. It just got lost in the aether. That's like the only time it's ever happened, and it's like the worst video for it to have happened to, period. Because it's, without a doubt, maybe my best debate ever. But let me rewind a bit. A while ago, I got sent a recommendation for a video to cover in my Discord. And it was a guy named Shadow Raven Studios ranting about a free Fallout New Vegas mod that was in development, being woke. It's a mod that basically takes you to Hawaii in a post-nuclear Fallout world, right? It's a Fallout Hawaii mod. And apparently in their Discord server, they had some rules that Shadow Raven Studios took an issue with. One of those rules was no political arguments and debates. It's a Discord server for a mod, for Fallout. They didn't want to host political debates there, so they had rules against trying to start fights over politics or engaging in fights over politics. Fair stuff, right? But apparently, they also had a rule that said you're not allowed to discriminate against people based on their race, their identity, their sexuality, their gender, like all basic stuff, right? Shadow Raven Studios and a little, like, circle of other right-wing chud types online saw this as hypocritical, or at least pretended to see it as hypocritical, and went hard against this, this mod. Now, what I'm assuming was their motivation was they're smaller grifter channels, they're smaller right-wing grifter channels, and Fallout's modding community is small, but very tight-knit and very, like, everyone seems to know each other. It's, like, very much a lively community, but it's a very much existing and persistent niche, and so I think they were trying to break into that audience and get them on board to grow their own audiences by building a hate wave around this random mod. It also kind of went alongside some disdain people have for Nexus mods right now for some reason. Apparently it has to do with just some business practice stuff, so it's a bit of that sinking ship spotting where they see something doing poorly and people having a problem with it, and then they try to ascribe wokeness to it and get people to think the problem with it is it being woke. In reality, though, it's just to get people to watch their videos and make them money. So I find this guy. I decided to respond to his stuff, and frankly, I was floored at how bad his arguments were. He is not a great speaker, he's not charismatic, and his arguments are just downright terrible. He also seemed to have a problem with, I guess, one of the people who was, like, moderating or running the Discord, or one of the devs was, like, trans or gender nonconforming, and he took issue with that, and at one point, I guess there was a minor that was in the Discord server, but this isn't like some private Discord server. It's a Discord server for a mod. And, oh, he thought you were trans? Oh, it was you. Okay, the dude. He thought that the dude in chat was trans, which they're not. But Shadow Raven Studios just kind of, I guess, assumed that, I suppose. And so, this is a Discord server for a mod, right? They don't have a website or anywhere, like, you can follow development or download it. A lot of things do this now, even Minecraft mods, where if you want to download it or be a part of it, you have to join a Discord server instead of a website. And, because it's just a Discord server for following the development of a mod, there was someone who was like 16 or 17 in there. Mind you, nothing happened with them. Nothing inappropriate happened in this Discord server for the mod. However, Shadow Raven Studios simply pointed out that there was someone in the Discord who is below the age of 18, and thus that must mean that they're all predators. Mind you, this isn't like some insular private Discord. It is a public Discord to join to follow the development of a mod. It's like, it was a nothing burger from beginning to end. But Shadow Raven Studios, I responded to his video, and he got mad. Like, really mad. And he responded to me poorly. And it was hilarious. So I responded to his response. And in response to that, while I was live one day, he came into my stream, and he demanded that I bring him in for a debate. I, of course, immediately agreed and brought him on stream about 5 minutes later. I proceeded to bend him over and whoop his ass in that debate. Everybody agrees. There's no ifs, ands, or buts or denying it. Unfortunately, it's not uploaded yet, though I'm going to be having Ethan fix that tonight. because uploads resume tomorrow, and I think one of them should be that debate. I'm also thinking about combining all of this into one big video, the Shadow Raven saga, we could call it, or something like that. Anyway, basically, Shadow Raven comes on, and I whooped him, and he just ran off with his tail between his legs, and I didn't hear about him for a while. Until someone in my Discord sent another video recommendation having to do with Shadow Raven Studios. Apparently, he left the internet. At first I thought, oh, did I debate him so hard that he left the internet? That's crazy. But that might be the case, but the way he did it is really what is so shocking. Anyway, I brought up a video here from a YouTuber named Moment of Sanity. This video came out 2 days ago, and it's called Shadow Raven Studios Postmortem. I was sent this, and apparently it breaks down what has happened with this guy, and how his leaving of the internet went. So I guess this is, for now at least, the end of the Shadow Raven saga on my channel. Unfortunate. This guy was genuinely one of the funniest little creatures I'd managed to find on the internet. I was hoping we could do another debate, but after what he did, I don't think I'll ever platform this guy again. You'll find out why in a moment. Let's watch. Luigi?
How's it going, everybody? Sebastian Solus here. It's been about a month since anything in regards to Shadow Raven Studios has happened, and honestly, that should be kind of for good reason. After all, I said in my last video that would be the last actual video on him, and no, I'm not counting my video about, you know, weird anti-woke Nexus mods alternative as a video on him.
Genuinely hilarious, though, that Shadow Raven Studios acronym is SRS. Like sexual reassignment surgery. It's great.
It's mainly just a video on that dumbass site that's literally just stealing mods. However, as of earlier this week, apparently some rather hilarious things have happened, and I feel like just making an entire video about them because, dear God, it is just genuinely entertaining, and of course a very hilarious way to close the book on anything in regards to Shadow Raven Studios. So, of course, if you were to try and look for his channel now through any kind of links to his channel...
Mind you, this is the first video that comes up if you search Shadow Raven Studios on YouTube. His channel does not come up anymore.
Channel that I may have left whenever I tagged him, you'll notice that his channel is no longer existent. Any videos of his are also no longer existent outside of an archive channel, which I'll be bringing up later, and pretty much damn near everything about him on both YouTube and Twitter is basically erased from existence, with of course the only proof of his actual existence being on Rumble, but that should be to no one's surprise at this point. So why is that? Well, let's quickly kind of back up a little bit, back to, you know, the whole DLC fun thing, because there's a reason why he ended up rebranding for a short amount of time before he nuked his channel, and it's because he ended up getting one community guideline strike on YouTube for whatever reason. Now, for what reason the community guideline strike was for, I have absolutely no idea. A lot of this is mainly just from the word of mouth.
Someone in chat just said, didn't this guy said he'll literally wants to Roblox Keffels? So, like, broken English as fuck, hilarious on its own. But also, all I'm going to say is, I have gotten more messages from people saying what I said there was based than I have gotten messages from people saying it was inappropriate. Like, I need you to know that the consensus of messages I have received have been saying, yeah, that was based. Yeah. Yeah, I know you're just Fed posting there, but that was still based.
Mouth of others, so take a lot of this with a bit of a grain of salt. A lot of this is very alleged, but he ended up getting a strike, panicked, and basically nuked damn near everything off of his channel except for anything that was promoting some sort of weird scam, which is genuinely hilarious.
That's funny to me as well, is that, like, on his way out, he ends up promoting, like, some scam sponsor to make an extra buck. Like, he just cashed in all the chips.
But then, of course, he ended up getting a second community guideline strike earlier this week. Now, what exactly may have caused a community guideline strike? Well, allegedly, he ended up uploading something from his weird lolly spank bank onto YouTube.
So, can you remember how many times in that debate this guy tried to insinuate I was a pedophile? Because I'm pro-trans and pro-gay? Turns out, his way of leaving YouTube was to upload lolly hentai And it gets worse. It gets somehow worse.
With, and I'm quoting this here from a different video from the archive channel that I mentioned earlier. It allegedly had his commentary over it, shall I say. I'll just...
Last night, on August 24th, 2024, Shadow Raven Studios uploaded Sexy Girl Hentai Vid 27. Okay. .mov to his YouTube channel. It was quickly reported and removed by YouTube for breaking TOS. This morning on August 25th, 2024, Shadow Raven Studios' YouTube channel no longer exists. I was unable to view this to myself, but witness accounts claim that it was a lolicon video that Shadow Raven commented on and was making grunting noises to. So apparently Shadow Raven Studios uploaded a hentai video where in the background it is him speaking, where he's grunting, presumably jacking it, while also, like, commentating on what his thoughts are on the hentai. On the lolicon hentai. Yeah. Weren't really expecting this saga to go here, were we?
keep it as that. Oh yeah, by the way, to that archive channel, I just feel like I should bring this up. For some reason, I actually still have the videos from Shadow Raven Studios while he was making videos on me, so if you want any of the videos that he tried to make more specifically on me, I guess you could just hit me up or something like that. If you have, like, you know, an email or something like that that I can, like, you know, send some of this garbage to, that would be great. Apparently it was called, like, Sexy Girl Hentai Video number 27 or something like that, and it was uploaded to YouTube
Number
at some
27.
point earlier this week, before YouTube ended up just destroying it within an inch of its life.
So I'm gonna guess that implies he had at least 26 more images or videos of similar content on his computer if they were numbered up to 27.
Within not even an hour of it being up, which ended up netting him yet another strike on his channel to add on to the pile. So, of course, in a massive panic, and in order to avoid him actually getting banned, so that way he can come back and technically state that he's not ban evading, he has decided to now nuke his entire channel, and I have screenshots of his channel description before he nuked his channel, before ultimately nuking his channel within pretty much the same day in which I announced.
What did he say? Hold on, I didn't get time to read that. I want to see what his final channel description
he has decided to now nuke his entire channel, and I have screenshots of his channel description before he nuked his channel, before,
I am no longer uploading videos on YouTube. I will be deleting this channel soon. For YouTube to continue on with their shenanigans is the final straw. God.
Ultimately nuking his channel within pretty much the same day in which I announced that a lot of weird crap has happened in relation to him, and overall, this is just genuinely hilarious. Funnily enough,
really
it
hilarious.
just so happens that the same exact guy who was unironically calling me a pedophile and then deciding to backtrack on it when called out on it and then making up any excuses in the book whenever I showed off every single bit of evidence of him doing that, turned out to be really no better than the very thing that he was attempting to try and call me at the end of the day. Of course, it ends up ultimately just being projection, but again, a lot of this is alleged since I haven't seen the video myself, and to my knowledge, there's only been like 2 people who have actually seen the video, and their overall descriptions seem to kind of match up. And I highly doubt that SRS would just suddenly nuke his channel out of nowhere. There has to be at least some kind of a reason as to why, but honestly, I just find it funny that my final debate with him, which ended up leading to him having some sort of weird breakdown in his server and threatening to leave his country.
Holy shit, how many debates did this guy get whooped in? What the fuck? Did this guy just bounce around getting, like, bent over for weeks until he decided to just say fuck it and leave the internet?
Ultimately resulted in him having yet another breakdown in which he uploaded his spank bank onto YouTube thinking that nothing would happen. But of course, that's not the only reason why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to make this video because it was brought to my attention with this video about Shadow Raven Studios, and you would think that this would be a video talking trash about him, but no. It's a video from 1 month ago, funny enough, in which, well, this greasy man that you're seeing right before you essentially tries to talk up Shadow Raven Studios as if he's like the second coming of Christ. And I feel like just kind of tearing this one apart because I think it's funny.
I'm genuinely curious how the Shadow Raven guy had fans and what his fans were like. Apparently we're gonna get a look at, like, a Shadow Raven Studios stan here. I'm really curious what kind of people are watching his videos.
But yeah, let's just get started.
YouTubers are the new journalists. let me tell you something when it comes to looking for trusted YouTubers. Look, some people,
Playing Hogwarts
well, there are some
Legacy.
people who are decent, some people are not. It's not easy to find someone you can trust. However, in the darkest of time, like Dumbledore would say, happiness can be found even in the darkest of time. Only.
Oh my god, I
God.
cannot believe that I'm actually dealing with someone who's quoting fucking Harry Potter here when he's about to talk about a fucking anti-woke loser who was a
I like to think it's because Harry Potter was like the highest reading level they ever got to, you know what I mean? Like, once they read Harry Potter, they were like, oh yeah, I can read so good, and then they just stopped, like, reading shit. It's the only explanation. Like, Harry Potter was the most challenging literature they ever engaged with, and that's where they stopped.
loser during this time, mind you. He was a loser, I think. Let me quickly check here. This was July 13th. When was my last debate with him? This was uploaded the same exact day. This was uploaded the same exact day that I had my last debate with him. Like, Jesus Christ, the timing is absolutely fucking insane. How does that even happen? How do you end up uploading a video sucking...
Did I start this guy down, like, his spiral into, like, just nuking It's wild. Like, what, like 3 weeks ago I was debating the dude, and now he's just gone. Just gone from the internet. Wild. It's astonishing how much confidence he had, you know what I mean? Like, every time, like, Shadow Raven Studios make a video or challenge, like, a debate or something, he's so confident, and every time it goes badly, and it's like, bro... Like, why not just stop? Just keep making your grift videos about games being woke.
...his dick when he lost a second debate with me.
I know it's not a very good quote, but I'm just gonna put it in. You see, there are some people who are still doing good things. Some developers who left Ubisoft or who left Rocksteady, the one that are during the golden days, they are now doing their own things. They're now going indie and now doing what they are passionate about instead of making DEI.
I have a feeling that half of these people
DEI.
who bring up the whole DEI acronym probably don't even know what the fuck it actually means. They just keep on hearing it as a buzzword from other dumbass anti-woke YouTubers, and then they just decide to parrot it thinking that it means, like, it's like, you know...
I am curious how many people who use the acronym DEI know what it stands for. I feel like they know it, like, it stands for diversity, equity, inclusion, but they definitely don't know what it actually is, right? Like, it's the same thing as critical race theory. Every few years, a term that's, like, very niche, even in progressive spaces, that has, like, just a certain ring to it that doesn't sound very good, you know? Like, they just take that, and then they turn it into a boogeyman, like a buzzword that, like, sets people off. A literal trigger word for people. They program people to, like, freak out when they hear it.
Know, the coming of, like, the Third Reich or something like that. Like, I really have absolutely no idea. And this coming from someone who doesn't really care all too much about DEI. Like, personally, I kind of find it to be a little silly. But, like, at the end of the day, I feel like these people talk about it as if it's, like, the fucking boogeyman. Like, it's something that they just should never name.
Sweet Baby Inc., many of the OG veterans, they knew that disaster was going to spell. Some of them decide better just quit instead of getting laid off.
If you genuinely think that people at these big AAA studios are getting laid off because of DEI or SBI or anything along those lines, then I genuinely have no idea if you even play video games in the first place. A lot of layoffs...
Well, it's all fake. It's all faking outrage, right? I've talked about this before, but the method these people employ is called the sinking ship strategy, as I call it. I don't think anyone else has, like, given a name to this, and I don't think anyone has called it this. Pretty sure I invented this. I call it the sinking ship strategy. They spot something that is an obvious sinking ship. They're not always right. Like, don't get me wrong, they're wrong all the time in spotting sinking ships, but they try to, as much as possible, find something that's popular or has a niche audience that's, like, very dedicated, that's currently going through some kind of turmoil, right? It can be an issue with pricing. It can be an issue with people being upset about layoffs or a controversy. You know, a really good example of this was the Blizzard sexual harassment stuff that happened. A lot of people who hate that Blizzard is, you know, very outspoken, progressive in their messaging, used the general anger there was about the sexual harassment at Blizzard. See, a lot of people here are even saying fuck Blizzard. There are a lot of people who, validly so, were like fuck Blizzard, but if they were looking up videos that were about how Blizzard is bad, all of the biggest videos were videos that were by people who at the end of their video, or by the end of their video, would find a way to shoehorn wokeness being the cause of it all, or wokeness being what allowed it to happen, or it being a thing woke is in favor of, I guess, right? Pretty common. You see a lot of this happen. A good example of what's happening with this right now is Wizards of the Coast, where people are pretty pissed off at that company right now for valid reasons, and because of that, the right recognizes pre-existing hate, and they're trying to monetize off of it as much as possible.
To my knowledge, end up happening because greedy corporate heads think that they can just get away with basically laying off like most of their fucking team just so that way they can make more money. And that's literally...
But remember, these chuds don't believe that the motivation of these companies is to make money. They believe, in fact, these companies are absolutely foregoing income. They're taking a hit to their bottom line to push an agenda. That is what these people are arguing. So you have to so if you get into an argument with them, the line you want to take is, what is motivating these companies to push this agenda as opposed to making money? What do you think companies are for? Who is behind this? Like control of these companies where they can't focus on making money, and they're making these decisions that are supposedly making them go broke for the sake of wokeness. Why has this been a problem, as you would say, for years and years and years and years now, if it's not an obvious death knell? Where is this coming from? And you challenge them on the conspiracy. They can't actually substantiate it, and you call them out on not being able to substantiate it. It won't change their minds, but there are well-meaning people who fall for these arguments because they don't think critically about them that will hear this, and they'll go, oh, huh. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Really about it. It has absolutely nothing to do
to
with anything else in regards to that. Sure, I'm pretty sure you could probably pull up a few edge cases in which it may have been the fault of, like, SBI or anything along those lines, but again, those are probably a few edge cases.
I don't know if there are any, right? Because, like, Sweet Baby Incorporated is just a consulting firm, right? Like, it's just a company that game developers and game publishers, like, have on call for doing, like, testings for sensitivity on their media, right? So if there's something that could potentially cause them a problem in the social media sphere, like some kind of boycott or like some controversy that'll affect their stock prices, they have a responsibility to prevent that, to minimize that. And their way of doing so is oftentimes sensitivity readers, sensitivity playtesters, that kind of thing. And that's what SBI, Sweet Baby Inc. offers. So if you're a publisher or a game studio and you want to help prevent easy controversy that's going to hurt like your bottom line, then you have a company like that on hand. It helps you to prevent easy controversy. And that's not like trying to be woke for an agenda. That's literally just doing what companies do, rainbow capitalism. They're following their dollar. Problem is, these people don't get to agree with that. They don't get to like say, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, well, see, my point still stands, because they don't get to do that because the fundamental mantra that they have lived by is go woke, go broke. So where's the going broke? And if they are going broke, where's the agenda? Why are they going broke and pushing an agenda instead of trying to make money? What's the motivation? What's the conspiracy?
Most of which are just greedy corporate heads that want to make money, so they go out of their way to just, lay off a bunch of people so that way they have to pay out less money.
In my opinion, journalists are now seething and coping because, well, reactionary YouTubers is now taking over them. And here's another one I'd like to show.
He calls himself and the crowd he's part of reactionary YouTubers because he doesn't know that is explicitly... that being a reactionary is both a apt label, but also a pejorative, right? Like, to call someone reactionary is a pejorative, explicitly. He proudly called himself a reactionary. Some conservatives do this, by the way. And I feel like it's just so tone deaf, I guess, or they don't realize what they are saying about themselves.
Show you. I'm giving you a first example of someone who is also anti-woke or perhaps against DEI, like for example Smash JT, and there's one Shadow Raven Studio, which we're gonna start with him. This is a follow-up to his Dragon Age Veilguard video, which, okay, he got one dislike, which I have to assume that dislike has to be a woke YouTuber or any...
Jesus Christ. What do I even have to say about that particular part right there? This already just lets me know everything that I need to know about this guy. This man is probably just quite literally looking up like the term of like, like woke or something like that in order to just find like anti-woke losers to constantly suck the dicks of. It is just genuinely sad. It just...
What a lot of people don't know is that when you're like a young person who's like getting into this like woke anti-left-wing content, it's like opening your eyes to a whole new world. They present it as if you've just like taken the red pill and you're seeing reality for the first time. And if you want to keep seeing reality, you got to keep watching this content and getting the real truth, the real true news, and the non-fake news. And so yeah, a lot of these guys who buy into this shit, they go like searching and scouring the internet for even small channels like Shadow Raven Studios to support, because conservatives convince them that they need to cough up every view, every dollar, every like, every comment to beat wokeness. And it's why you cannot escape right-wing content on YouTube. As a matter of fact, apparently the alt-right rabbit hole is like fully back. I do plan to do a segment on that. Someone did a really good video talking, I think it was called something like watching YouTube until it makes me alt-right. So yeah, I think that could be an interesting video to cover. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, like there's a reason why these channels, the hate clicks, they dominate the algorithm.
Imagine, like, you know, limiting yourself to only watching losers who quite literally have likely never left their fucking basement to even touch grass for once in their life, that are bitching about, like, fucking minorities in video games.
Remember the guy who's in a garage saying that, like,
okay, let's see.
Remember the guy whose entire streaming setup was in a garage and he was talking about having a wife? And it was like, bro, there's no way you make videos in a garage full of action figures about how minorities and women in video games and media is bad, and all the while you claim you have a wife. There's no way in hell.
The comments, see what's going on. I'm not certain what this means. Ah, yes, this is one of the haters. No one's mad, you're just desperate for content. You guys are liars? Of course. Good thing you point that out.
What's funny is that the video that he's bringing up here is quite literally a video that has basically barely anything to do with his Dragon Age the Veilguard video, and has more to do with him just trying to make more false allegations towards me, which is just genuinely hilarious. This is the video that you decide to choose? The one video that ended up leading to his fucking demise? Really? Jesus Christ, dude. You couldn't have picked a worse video.
Let's watch this video.
For that, because just wait until I make my new Fallout Ashfall video, because you guys, all of you guys, including those who are running the server, are gonna get called out. Yeah, you got that right, buddy, and you're definitely on that list of people I'm gonna mention, because I don't like what you're doing on the internet.
I will leave the full video link in the description, okay?
Well, that part definitely aged like milk, because I'm pretty sure if I were to try and go to the video, let's see here, what happens? Wow, video unavailable, because he fucking nuked his channel after getting embarrassed after uploading his lolly spank bank onto YouTube. You fucking moron.
Basically, there are some gamers, YouTubers, who are good people, and they are against this kind of thing.
If you genuinely think that SRS is a good person, holy shit, your standards for good people must be so unbelievably low, it's broken past the fucking Marianas.
It's wild to me that this guy had stands, though. Like, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but also it's still wild to me. I don't know. But he did. He had stands. He had people that were like, hell yeah. Yeah, this guy knows what it's about.
Trench. Like, I feel like SRS is probably like the worst fucking example of a good upstanding citizen that you could possibly ever fucking come up with. Not only is he an anti-woke loser, which is already just one tick off the box, but he's also just, he's basically like Synthetic Man, but if Synthetic Man was even more mask off about his hatred somehow, like, I didn't even think that that was possible, but lo and behold, SRS is the proof that something like that can actually fucking happen.
Against DEI. And most importantly, some of them love video games like Dragon Age, and they don't want to see their favorite game ruined. Let me tell you something. I make a stance starting about 2 months ago.
Okay, can I just point something out that's bothering me a little bit? Have you noticed that he's playing Hogwarts Legacy, and he's playing a female character? Which, you know, like, that's not necessarily, like, a like, sus or bad thing. It's just that usually when you talk to a guy who plays games, and you ask, like, why are you playing a female character in the game? It's usually like, oh, well, you gotta look at the character's back for hours and hours and hours. I'd rather look at the back of a woman than the back of a guy. And, you know, that could be a fair argument. The only response I would have to that, in this case, if that's what this dude who recorded the gameplay here would say, is you know how old your character in that game is, right? Like, you're a student at a school. You're like 15 or 16, I would guess, in that game. Like, you're just a kid. So, why is he playing a female character? I wonder. You guys can fill in the gaps there. I'm just saying. It stood out to me, okay? It connected there, and I was like,
ago because of one thing, not just because I want to improve my YouTube content, but that realization made me realize, well, the realization made me wonder, will this DEI come from my favorite video games?
Oh my fucking god. I was making a joke earlier that people like to talk about this DEI crap as if it's like the fucking boogeyman, but this man is actually unironically saying that DEI is like a fucking boogeyman. I cannot believe.
Like, a lot of the people who buy into this stuff don't even, like, they're so much more crazed about it than even the content creators that push it. Like, I don't know if you've ever, like, been, like, right-leaning at any point in your life, but when I was, like, fairly moderate in comparison to people I would run into online in the communities that I would, like, spend time in. It really does seem like a lot of the fans of this type of content say the quiet part out loud and go to the lengths that like the YouTubers themselves can't go. Like they end up really riling up their audiences into just genuinely beyond delusional ideas, like more delusional than the shit they even say in their videos.
That like parody has become real life at this point. How does that even fucking happen? How does that even fucking happen? But of course, if you want some advice on how to improve your content, allow me to just quickly let you know something. First of all, get a better camera. I'm pretty sure whatever fucking iPhone that you're using in order to record your face at the beginning is not really that flattering. Second of all, maybe decorate your backdrop so that way it doesn't look like you're literally being held hostage in like a fucking cartel or some shit. Number 3, pick some better games, man. I have a feeling that you're one of those idiots that probably purchased Hogwarts Legacy due to the weird controversy that existed where people were like calling it like transphobic or some garbage like that, which personally I find both sides of that entire situation to be extremely silly. I've mentioned this before, but that's
Unfortunately, the Hogwarts Legacy thing was so badly handled by, like, the trans community online that, like, that was just an absolute L for the left. Just, like, that entire situation was a massive L for the left with how badly it was handled. The amount of streamers that, whose, like, trans fans blew up at them because they played Hogwarts Legacy, there was just this, like, unanimous, like, every streamer who, like, played the game, the trans fans in their audience were giving them shit for it, and it just became this, like, day after the game released, like, big name streamer has to respond either apologizing or clapping back against trans fans that are upset at playing Hogwarts Legacy. So it was this big, like, on one hand you had, like, the insistence, you are a bigoted piece of shit supporting, wanting to kill all of us trans people if you, like, play or stream the game, while also the idea was that, like, the left wants to frame you as a bigot for playing the game. I think the answer to this was probably somewhere in the middle, where it's like, okay, yeah, it's important to talk about J.K. Rowling's politics and how awful she is, but trying to pressure people into boycotting, not a good thing. It was not good. It really, really ended up being an L for the left on that entire thing.
Basically my entire take on it. Both sides sucked in that regard. But I have a feeling that you're one of those people that just purchased this game because you wanted to own the libs or some garbage like that. But also on top of that too, my final advice to you is don't be an anti-woke loser, okay? Just expand your horizons to people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about, rather than people who just spout buzzwords and scream homophobic slurs at the top of their fucking lungs. Alright, there you go. There's your advice on how to become a better content creator. But I think we're just going to round that one off there. There's really not much else to talk about. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and join the Discord server down below if you feel like doing so. And yeah, anyways, guys, this has been Sandy, and have yourselves a nice day.
What a good video. I cannot believe this is how this entire saga wrapped up, but at the same time, I feel this is the only way it could have wrapped up. Oh, Christ. What a mess. Anyway, if you guys want to go send support to the original creator who made this video, Moment of Sanity's link to their channel here in chat. There you go, guys. Go ahead and go send some support. Go subscribe. Go drop a like. Go comment saying that I sent you, because that's always fun. I always love seeing another channel, and their comments are full of, came here from Zan. It's always funny. It's always, like, very wholesome. It makes me smile. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment, as Moment of Sanity said, consider liking, subscribing, ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload. Obviously, comments and likes, they help the channel a ton no matter when, where, or what you're watching. Even that just thumbs up, hitting it, boosts my content, twists YouTube's arm into pushing my videos out to more people, so I really do appreciate it. You can follow my social medias linked down below, join my Discord. It's totally free, it's the main hub of my community, and I even host game events, call-in streams, and watch parties there almost every week, so if you want to be a part of that, make sure you join. And of course, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on, a roof above my head, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support the channel, thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one.